Hello, this is Ella from Creative Ladies Coalition on Facebook group. And I have here with me Jennifer, who goes by Jenny, from discoveringlegacies.com. She quit her 9 to 5 job to become a world traveler. She's been to over 30 countries, and I am so grateful to have her here. Thank you, Jenny. Hi.
Hi, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you so much. First, I wanted to ask you kind of like what is your story? Like, how did you get into traveling?
Well, I was born and raised in Germany, and my mom, since I was little, she just took me traveling. We went in Europe, it's really common, just country hop because when you drive for like 4 hours, you're just already out of the country. So we would spend summers in like Italy or France, and I've always loved that. And then once she split up with my dad, she got another boyfriend, and they went to work all the time. And we had nannies from different places, like from Slovakia, Slovenia, Hungary, Russia, whatever. So I was always surrounded by multicultural people, basically, which was great because that also made me want to travel. And then every year we went somewhere, and then I started traveling by myself when I was 14. Just took a night bus to Slovakia, and then I went on an exchange in Orange County from Germany to Orange County. Also traveled there by myself, but of course I didn't stay there by myself. But it's always been in me, so to say.
Yeah. Wow. A night train to Slovakia at 14. That must have been awesome.
Yes.
Oh, we have a question.
Hi, Christian.
Where? Yeah. Hi, question. So Christian asks, where are you now?
I am currently in Germany, but I will leave to Cape Town tomorrow and then Tanzania next Wednesday.
Ah, my gosh, that is so awesome. I love it so much. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Christian. So I was going on Slovakia to 14. I'm sorry. What was that like? Like, for those of us who have not, like, what did you do? Were you nervous? Were you excited? What happened?
Well, so basically my dad took me to the bus, and then I went on the bus by myself, and then the my friend there, she picked me up there in Slovakia. So I had to spend the night on the bus by myself. So it was not as scary as I would have done, everything by myself. So it was all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Good. Good.
I
Because I like to.
survived.
I like to bring those things up because I think a lot of women are nervous about traveling by themselves, and so uh, I think it's safer with common sense than people think. So, okay. Um, so what? Now I'm thinking of the people who are watching who are probably like, well, what is it like to travel? Like, what are the like highlights for you of traveling around the world personally?
So many, so many. So
Yeah.
first of all, it's just when you step off the plane or train or bus, whatever you take to another country, and you don't know anything, that feeling is just, I don't know, I love the feeling because it's such an adrenaline rush, and you don't understand everything. Most likely you have no clue about if there's any hand signs you're not allowed to do in this country, or if you're
Mm,
saying something, if that's wrong, or if you bring in a gift to someone, if that's wrong, whatever. So it's actually it's really exciting. And then seeing different kinds of nature, like the Sahara Desert, or waterfalls in Morocco, or Bryce Canyon, or whatever it is, like anywhere really, it's amazing. And then of course the food, and the very best thing is to connect. The best thing is to connect with people, really. Like, if it
yeah.
doesn't matter that if you don't speak the language, it really doesn't matter, like, because somehow you'll always find a way to communicate.
Yeah. Do you I have a story about that when I went to Thailand by myself a few years ago, but the food, oh my gosh. I you got so many topics on me. I'm like, someday I want to retire and all I want to do is travel around the world eating. I'm like, where can I go to eat now? Where can and but like but yeah, do you have any stories about the communicating? Because I have one from Thailand, but I'm curious because you've been a lot more places than I have. If you have some good stories about when you've had to figure something out.
Yeah, so it was actually recently in December in Tanzania. It was very interesting because I went on the beach with another German girl, and we were the only obvious outsiders. But everybody knew
Mm-hmm.
her because she was always cleaning up the trash on the beach. So people knew her. And then she introduced me to some people. And then one of the guys he kept holding my hand for the whole conversation for 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, I've heard this before, but I never actually had it happen to me, or it was just weird. But it's completely normal in Tanzania to do this. Even guys do that, like when they do business, or
Oh,
it's so normal. And I was just standing there, like he was holding my hand for 10 minutes.
yeah.
What am I supposed to
Yeah.
do now? And how
Yeah.
do I get out of this without being awkward or whatever? But he let go after like 10 minutes, so it was fine.
So it was, yeah. It's so interesting the way the cultures are different. I was in Thailand and I took a Thai cooking class in Bangkok, but I wasn't staying in Bangkok. I was staying out of the city, and so the class ended at 5 o'clock on a Friday, which Bangkok is huge. There's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of traffic, and so I was like trying to get a cab back with I had my piece of paper because I don't speak English or speak Thai. I had my piece of paper. I'm like, this is where I'm trying to go, and all the cabbies were like, no way. And so I ended up like outside of they have the almost the subway, but it's above ground, and there was this commuter van. Is a commuter van, and I was like, I need help. I'm trying to get here, but nobody spoke English, and so I ended up like I was talking to the driver, and then he didn't speak English, and so he was like, hey, do you like grabbing people on the sidewalk? Hey, do you speak English? Hey, do you? And by the end, I had like a circle of like 9 Thai people, all trying to like help me figure out like how to get. I ended up renting the commuter renting the van. The guy drove me, just me in this van, all the way back to my thing, and I was like, well, while we're driving, because it took like an hour, I'm like, why don't you teach me how to count in Thai?
That is so sweet.
And that was yes, and he taught me how to count, but it took like 5 minutes to get him to figure out how to. I'm like 1, 2, 3, and he's like 1, 2, 3, what? Like he didn't understand what I was trying to say. I'm like, come on, help me out here. But it was such a fun experience, and I bet you have like a million stories like that. Anyways, it's fun. Traveling's awesome.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, you got me going. Okay, so I wanted to know.
We had another question.
Yes, we have a question. Okay, how do we connect? So, how do you connect with people? This is Emery, and she says, I feel like I'm so shy that if I traveled someplace alone, I would end up only speaking during transactions with retailers. So, how do you connect with people when you're traveling?
Okay, so there's lots of options, really. Yeah, like I am never alone more than 24 hours when I travel somewhere. So, basically, either you look for events online, like for example, in Prague, I looked up a pub crawl and I was there for 1 minute by myself. This girl came up to me. She was 20 years old. I'm 28 now, and she was 20 years old. And she came up to me. She was like, "Hey, are you here by yourself too?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so after that, like we started talking to people and talking to each other. So it was really nice, and I wasn't by myself anymore. And then in Tanzania, actually, it was also very interesting because that was a culture shock at first in the country, and especially because I'm the obvious outsider, and I'm walking outside and people are staring at me. They're looking at me, and I was like, I don't even know how to connect with them, or if I should, or I don't know. That was the first time I really was kind of, I would say, afraid too. But then I knew that just upstairs there was another house sitter because I was house sitting there. That means that I watched a person's cat and dog, and she was on vacation. So there was another house sitter upstairs, and I just went upstairs, and I did not know this person. I was like, "Hey, do you want to go to dinner with me tomorrow?" And that's it. And she said, yes, of course. So, and since that moment, like Christmas, I spent completely by myself. I was sad. I was crying. I was lonely, everything. 2 days later, I was like, okay, this is enough. I have to go outside. I go upstairs to the house sitter. She says yes. And then from then on, it's like events started rolling in, basically, or people started rolling in. And I spent New Year's with 15 people, like in the same.
Whoa.
And the next 2 weeks, I did not know what to do with my time because I had so many people, you know, that wanted to hang out with me and I wanted to hang out with. So it was crazy. And then you can always use like dating apps. You can do this for guys and girls, which I did too. Meet guys, meet girls there. And there's Facebook group. Like there's a really important Facebook group. It's called Girls Love Travel. So if you're a girl, then join this group because you can literally say, hey, I'm in this small town in blah, 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 in this country. And you'll find a person who's going to hang out with you because there's just so many girls in there. It's like 250, almost 250,000 members.
Yeah, I'm in there. Yep. I love that group. It's such a great group. People, I definitely recommend joining the Girls Love Travel Facebook group. Yeah. So it sounds like there's kind of a mindset or a mentality. Some places, you know, you just have to be open to receiving people. Awesome. Thanks, Emery.
Don't be scared. You'll never be alone.
Yeah. Because it's because there's an aspect of, I imagine, when you're meeting new people, of being vulnerable. Like, can you talk a little bit about vulnerability when you're traveling? Not like to your safety, but mentally and emotionally.
I mean, you probably don't know. In some countries, you don't speak the language. You don't know what customs there are. You don't know where to get food sometimes. You don't know where to get money, where to get a phone card, a SIM card, whatever. And this not knowing, of course, makes you vulnerable to people. But at the same time, I have found, like, if you ask people and if you have a smile on your face, if you smile at them, if you ask them, it doesn't matter if they don't understand you. It really doesn't matter. They will help you, or they will get somebody who's going to help you. Like they will bring the next person who's going to speak English and you can talk to them about it. And people are always willing to help. Doesn't matter where you go. Doesn't matter what country you're in. Doesn't matter if they don't understand you. They're always willing to help. So you just have to put yourself out there. Because if you don't, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. I love that so much. Thank you so much. So, and you've done most of your traveling. You've done a lot of your traveling by yourself. So you're speaking as a woman who has traveled by herself. And because I kind of want to get to people who are maybe thinking about traveling by themselves to be confident, or at least, you know, get the courage up to take that risk. What are, before you started, like, before you take a new trip, because it sounds like you've been traveling by yourself for a while, but I know a lot of people have these, you know, things that are stopping them from actually doing it. And what would you say are some of the challenges that you have faced? And then we'll talk about how you've overcome them, or how you've overcome them.
The challenge in Tanzania for me was meeting people, really, like I said. And I already talked about how I overcame it. And then another challenge sometimes can be to get around in places. Nowadays I'm accustomed to like subways and everything and cabs and whatnot, but not everybody is, and I understand. But it's very simple, and I would say there's no challenge or no problem that can't be solved by talking to someone. If you research really well online, and if you ask people in Girls Love Travel, for example, that will solve a lot of your problems. Like you don't even have to be scared or whatever. And just nowadays with the internet, it's so easy to get to know about a place or to find out things that you are scared about or whatever. And there's so many women who have done it before you, and so many women who will do it after you, and they will have everybody have the same problems. And everybody survived. Like,
yeah. Good point. What are the favorite places that you've traveled to? Like, what places would you say these are the best places, or are they all like? There's pros. There's I'm sure everything place has their own thing, but what are some of the places you'd be like, this was awesome here, this was awesome here? Yeah.
So, I kind of like to combine city with nature, because I
Mm.
really love both. I love the things that you can do in the city, and I love that you can just be in nature sometimes on a mountain and just have the views or whatever. So I love LA. LA has been my home
Mhm.
for almost 8 years, so I really, really love the city. I've fallen in love with Cape Town. It's even more beautiful than LA. I never thought I would say this, or Orange County, whatever, but is absolutely gorgeous. Like you can drive along the coast, right, like next to mountains, basically, and then the animals and everything. It's if you go to Kruger Park, for example, in South Africa, it's a blast. Like it's a blast. If you see a lion or a giraffe for the first time in your life, live, like right
Yeah.
in front of you, there's nothing. There's no better feeling. And then
Wow.
Rio de Janeiro is an absolutely gorgeous city. It also has lots of nature and beach and lots of things to offer. So that's the kind of places I like. Rio, and they have to be warm, like Rio, Cape Town.
so, so you're not like Moscow.
It's beautiful. I've seen a lot of great pictures, but I would not go there in the winter.
Some places are summertime trips. Summertime trips. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Where is the best food? This is me personally asking, where have you eaten the yummiest food? I've been to Italy and that was delicious, but I'm sure, there's good, like, yeah, food.
So yeah, Italian food can't beat Italian food almost, but
Yeah.
I have not eaten one bad thing in France. French people take
Oh.
care of their food, and everybody in the country together to protest against uh, caged eggs. So now they
Mhm.
only serve eggs where
Free,
the
free,
chickens are
free
like
range,
free
free
range.
range.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And I have never been to Ethiopia or Thailand, but I love Ethiopian food and Thai food. But
Well,
France, I have never had anything bad. So
really
yeah.
awesome. Thank you so much.
In South Africa,
Okay.
they don't have because it's a very it's a melting pot too, like America.
Hmm.
Um, but there's never bad food that I had. It's very healthy there too. Like they all have healthy food and fresh food, so it's really good.
Yeah, that's another nice thing about warm climates is their food is they get to all the fresh foods because you can grow stuff there. Oh, yeah. Okay. I could probably talk about food and traveling for a whole thing, but we're gonna move on. Like where else is there yummy food? Okay. Um what would you say like spiritually are some of the benefits of traveling for you?
Oh, there's also so many. So traveling teaches you to be more open and more tolerant. And one of my life goals really is to fight against discrimination and racism because that's some bullshit, I think. And
Yeah.
so if we send our kids to travel and if we send kids at a young age to travel, like 10, 12, if they're in middle school or high school or whatever, if we send them to travel to a completely different country, their minds will just their minds will be blown. They will open up so much. They will know that there are people who do things differently, but that's not bad. It's just different. And just
Hmm.
that point is just such a big reason to go traveling, I think. Just that so you can see that there's people who do things differently. Like I'm German. I was raised to be on time all the time. But then there's people that's not the case at all, and they still live and they still survive, and it's fine. And like to go with the flow. If something goes wrong, shit will go wrong when you travel. That will just happen. It like there's something that always will go wrong, but it's completely fine because things will be even better. Like after something will turn out wrong, then you'll have something even better in store. So that's also a really important lesson that I learned.
Oh my gosh, that is such a powerful lesson. Both of those are really powerful. I learned that first one when I moved from Idaho to Germany when I was 16. Idaho is very, very monocultural. Like everybody's got the same. And then I went to Germany, which is, but I was going to a high school there where it was very multicultural because I didn't speak German. So I was going to this multicultural, and it was a welcome and awesome experience to learn that everybody's just people, even though we can all have very different cultures. I think that's a really powerful thing that people could experience. So thank you for bringing that up. And then the other thing about going with the flow, that's something I think everybody can learn. I definitely something I'm working on, but I never thought of it in the context of traveling. Thank you.
I mean, if you miss a train, if you miss a plane, or yeah,
you just have to go with.
You have to. You learn how to deal with these situations, and you learn what you can do. And then second, something better might even come up. Like you'll stay in a better hotel if you miss something like a plane or train.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I know I've been playing with the idea in my life recently that the best memories come when things don't go as expected. Like the best stories you have happen when things happen unexpectedly. Like you have this plan and you're like, this is how I'm going to go A, B, C, D. And then all of a sudden there's some kind of upset. And that's when you have the awesome story later. Do you have anything like that?
Oh God, yes. I have plenty like that.
Yeah.
Oh, which one? Well, I do have a story where I really learned that you can just go with the flow. Nothing.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So, okay. I was in Peru, and I was supposed to fly to Brazil. So in Peru, I was in Machu Picchu actually, and then from Cusco, which is the city where you land, we had to fly back to Lima. Our flight was delayed already, and things were just happening, and everything was bad. And then we went back to Lima. We went back to my friend's brother's house, where my friends were all like showering and doing their thing or whatever. And then we ended up being late to the plane to Rio. Carnival season, mind you, where it's like the most expensive flights.
Oh no.
And so all of the 5 of us had to pay $900 for an extra ticket. We had to spend the night at the airport, and we missed 1 day in Rio. Which was pretty much everything went wrong, what could have been wrong. That memory, and I almost also lost a friendship through this because I was really mad at the girl who was late. However,
yeah, okay.
However, it was just something that I just really had to go with the flow. I just had to be like, okay, that's how it is. I cannot change anything. It happened, and I have learned, first of all, not to wait on anyone if I need to go on the plane. I will not wait on anyone anymore. And second, I have learned to just, things could be way worse. Like I'm traveling. I'm going to Brazil to Carnival, and some people don't even have the chance to travel. Like I'm complaining about something that's, I don't know, like that's not worth complaining about.
One, you can always catch up with her on the other side. You could wait for her in Peru, or you can wait for her in Brazil.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That was like my own little. If I had been there, we'll wait for her on the other side. And then, we are incredibly fortunate, right? Like here we are talking. I'm in Idaho. You're in Germany. We have the technology. We have the abundance. We are very fortunate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yes.
Yes. So I wanted to ask you about traveling as a form of creative expression, because this is the Creative Ladies Facebook group, and I think a lot of women, traveling is in their heart, and yet, and this is the last question. So traveling is in their heart, and yet there's something stopping them. And I wanted to ask you about traveling for you as a form of creative expression, which I know you keep a travel blog, I'll put in here right now. But can you tell us a little bit about what that is for you?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So, for me, having a travel blog is for once to write about my travels, because I really, really love and enjoy writing. So I can really put everything that I've been through on my or in my travels and on my journeys or whatever. I can put there. I can work on my problems, things that went well, or whatever. I can put everything into the blog, and I can give other people advice. I can inspire other people. And I really love taking pictures of beautiful places. I love being creative with taking pictures and taking videos or whatever. And I always try to be entertaining, but educating at the same time. So, for example, I made a video about Trolltunga, which is in Norway. It's like a rock that overlooks a really beautiful fjord. You have to hike hours to get there. And I learned another lesson there because I had packed the wrong shoes and I had to hike down for 3 hours in socks. So put all this in the video, and hopefully nobody else is going to make the same mistake.
Yeah.
Painful. So yeah, that's how I, become creative with the traveling.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we've got time, I think, for one more. If you have your most inspiring solo travel story, like the best one of your, well, not best, but if you have one more good story of an awesome time that you had traveling and meeting people in a new place.
Oh God, so many actually. I shared my best one in Tanzania already. Like I went from being
the upstairs
by myself on Christmas to being with New Year's, but and in Prague as well. Prague was amazing as well. Let me see real quick. So I went to South Africa and I went to a restaurant in Cape Town with another travel companion, and her and I were getting ready to pay, and this guy gets ready to ring us up, and we found out that he's the owner of the restaurant. So first question that he asked, he takes her bill, and then he's asking my friend, he's like, "Are you a nurse?" And she's like, "No, do I look like one?" And he's like, "No, you actually look like a doctor. You should have been a doctor." And she's like, "Okay, thank you." And then he's like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "Well, can you guess, since you guessed hers too?"
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea. And I told him I'm a travel blogger, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a pilot, and I've worked as a pilot for 7 years." And then he gave us advice that stuck with me too. So it was to never listen to your parents. If I listened to my parents, I wouldn't have gone to as many places or not quit my job to travel or whatever. Because they always worry about you, obviously. And I know they want the best for you, but at the same time, you have to make your own experiences. Yep. And then he also gave another really amazing piece of advice, which was go to countries and only see the positive. Don't see the negative. Don't focus on the negative. Only see the positive. Enjoy yourselves. And remember that you're fortunate to be traveling. And yeah, that's where I kind of want to leave this off. And it started off, as a simple conversation, but then it turned within 5 minutes, it turned into something so deep, and it stuck with me. Yes. And he told me, he was like, "Hey, if you're back in Cape Town, then come to my restaurant and I'll remember you." So I'm going back. Yeah. Actually, that I just thought about this. I'm going back this week to this restaurant and see if he remembers me.
Yeah, that's some good advice, and that is a good thing to end on. I had your website up there, to the discoveringlegacies.com. People can also find you on Instagram.
Yeah.
I bet that's really fun. I just put it in there.
Okay, great.
So it's Instagram.com/discovering legacy.
Yes.
And then one more. She's also on Facebook. Jenny, thank you. Here. Ta-da!
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much. And I'm sure people, if you have some questions that you want to ask, you can leave them in the comments. I don't know if you can hear my cat in the background. I apologize for that. Yeah, so people, I'm sure Jenny will be around. If you have some more questions, would you be willing to reply
Absolutely.
to some comment questions?
Here to travel, you can send me a private message, and I hope I can take your fear away, and you can talk to me. You can even call me before your flight, and I will talk some courage into you, hopefully.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That is so generous. And this has been really fun. And thank you so much.
Thank you. I really enjoyed being on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you can stay on for a second.
I will.